In the previous two videos, I discussed how to prepare for microdosing, how to understand deeply the opportunity that the experience represents, and how to work with body, breath, senses, and mind in order to optimize it. In this video, I'll share methods for intention setting and integration, the before and after bookends that both serve to draw out the power of the experience and to seal it in deeply into the body-mind so that it is truly learned and can eventually become second nature. These practices are adapted from Tibetan dream yoga. 1. This ancient yoga represents centuries of experimentation, refinement, and development of these practices, which are meant to harness the dream state, produce lucid dreams, and enable deep learning and transformation within the dream state. 2. The dream state bears much in common with the microdosing state. They both represent a heightened capacity for learning and transformation. So the practices map extremely well from Tibetan dream yoga to the modern applications of microdosing. And 3, the Tibetan dream yoga practices are designed to allow a certain kind of awareness, a certain kind of deep intention and motivation to persist through the entire night, through all of the stages of sleep and dream. So if microdosing generally entails a project or a series of projects or just living that goes through many hours of the day, when a person is not used to being constantly focused on their intention, on their internal state, these practices accomplish that. This intention setting and integration, these bookends of the microdosing experience, serve to program it very deeply into the body-mind for, again, best results and a deeper learning that will accumulate from experience to experience until second nature. I'll start with integration. So this comes at the end of the experience. And now just to clarify, this the end point of a microdosing experience may not be clearly delineated. In some microdosing protocols, you microdose and then the next entire day, the effects, while very subtle, maybe even imperceptible, are still there and are slowly diminishing. So there's no clear endpoint. So this integration practice can be performed anytime. It can be performed at the end of the day. If there was a day of microdosing set aside in order to accomplish certain things, do certain things, or again, just to live, then at the end of the day, these practices can be performed. They could be performed at the end of a specific task or project. So within that day, you say set aside a few hours to work on something, and you perform this practice at the end of that period. So it's an ending practice. It's a practice of closure. You'll understand very deeply what it's intended to do, and it really can be used as needed. But if you are microdosing consciously and you intend to continue it, then it's very wise to perform this integration practice at the end of the day at least. When Tenzin Wangyal, the Tibetan dream yoga master, teaches this practice in the context of Tibetan dream yoga, he calls it cultivating joyful effort. So it is a relationship and a positive, joyful, motivating relationship with your own work that is now in the past. So this is what you do at the end of the day and or the end of the specific period of activity, the specific project. This is the closure. It is a very savvy way to work with your own motivational system, your own nervous system on a deep level. Even if you did not find the idea of dream yoga particularly compelling, you could look at this practice as simply an intelligent way to work with yourself as an evolved organism that learns from experience. And this is how to take the day's work and seal it in on a very deep, positive level into your nervous system. And it's extremely simple. And it takes almost no time. 5 minutes can reap tremendous benefits with this cultivating joyful effort practice applied to microdosing or dream yoga or anything. So this is a practice that will generalize to anything. 5 minutes. You've done what you did. You worked through whatever you worked through. Or you just lived. Your goal for microdosing was just to experience life in a different way, perhaps for a better sense of well-being, less anxiety. You just lived, but you did what you did. And now it's time to cultivate joyful effort. Again, this is programming the benefits deeply into your nervous system. And you take some time and you do 5 minutes and you close your eyes, just really to draw the awareness internal. And I recommend the heart center, but you find this awareness in your body where you can really internalize what you're about to say, and you simply say to yourself these kinds of affirmations. That was good. I did my best. I did my best and it felt good. That wasn't easy. I went through some obstacles. I worked through them. I did the best I could, but I did the best I could and I'm proud of it and here I am and it felt good. You give yourself that, and the words aren't important. So you give yourself that sense of cultivating joyful effort. And it is in the body. And it is in the body. And I'll say something about this when I'm talking about intention setting, but if you find it difficult to really feel what you're saying, what you know you should be saying, like, that was good, I did well, I experienced joy, but you're really not feeling it, I will give some tips for really deeply embedding it in your body. So you feel it in the body, you say it to yourself, that was good, I did the best I could, cultivating joyful effort. And you really feel it like that. And just consider what this will do. So you could think about something you're trying to learn. So let's say I'm practicing a musical instrument. I'm working on the clarinet and I want to get better at the clarinet. And it's a real goal and I'm really motivated. But practicing sucks. Any musician will tell you, most musicians will admit that especially when it's a practice period of just rote scales and arpeggios and things, and you're just playing and you're basically building these patterns into your muscle memory. And now it's done. Your practice period is complete. In this case, unlike a microdosing thing that might last for several days, in this case, it's very clearly delineated. I'm done my 1 hour of practicing minor scales on the clarinet, for example. Now this is the key moment. If I say to myself, ugh, that sucked. I'm so glad that I practiced. I know I had to do it. I want to get better at the clarinet. I sincerely do. But that, of course, sucked. I was doing boring scales. I'm so glad I did that. It's over. And I dread the next time I have to do it. What is being taught to your deep self? What is being taught to your nervous system with that kind of speaking and that kind of feeling of aversion? That experience was difficult and I did not like it. Well, the next time you want to get motivated to do that or a similar task, again, for your very important goal, you want to excel in this instrument, and now you have to go on to the next kind of scales, or you have to do the same scales again because that's the way it works. It will be harder for you because you will have taught yourself that experience was aversive, that experience was unpleasant. I am avoiding that experience, and all that stuff is programmed in at the body level. Okay, so when you cultivate joyful effort instead, again, in this scenario, I just finished the scales I'm practicing. By the way, microdosing is wonderful for learning music. So I practice and it doesn't require microdosing. I practiced my clarinet scales. Yes, they were boring, but I'm going to cultivate joyful effort. This is what I do. This is my practice. 5 minutes. That was good. That was good. That was not easy. And at times that was boring. Yes, I will admit that was boring, but I did it. That was good on some deep level. That felt good. I appreciate what I just did for myself. I appreciate what I just did to benefit myself and become better on that instrument. Now, when it's the next day and that next practice session has arrived, now the neurology has received this little bit of teaching from you. That was a good experience. That was an experience to seek. It wasn't necessarily easy, but it was the thing that I want to do. And now that is known by the body on a deep level, and that practice will become easier and easier and easier, as opposed to more and more aversive, more and more something to avoid. Okay, one more example. Take a physical practice. Okay, a lot of people experience this with the gym. So a lot of people have these gym memberships, and they, again, just like the musician really wants to excel on that instrument. So the goal has integrity, but it is not necessarily pleasant to be at the gym working out. So you do it, okay, because you have this goal. I want to get in better shape. I want to be stronger. I want to be more healthy, fit. And you go to the gym and you work hard. And now is the key. That 5 minutes, that integration period at the end, that is the key. And if that goes like this, I'm so glad that's over. Oh my God, that sucked. I'm so thankful I don't have to do that for another 2 or 3 days. It's so great to be done with that. Okay, the next time, and again, just like the clarinet, it's a gym practice is not something you do once. So you know that to serve yourself well, you need to develop it over a long period of time. But the next time you go into it, if you talk to yourself that way, if you felt that way at the end, it will be harder. The motivation will be more difficult. The energy will be more difficult to muster. So you cultivate joyful effort. This is the integration of any experience in life that you wish to develop as a positive habit for you for the long term. So you worked out, it was extremely uncomfortable, it hurt a lot, and you say, that was good. I did that. I did that. If it was really uncomfortable, you deserve more props. I did that, was very uncomfortable. That was righteous. That was good. I did that. I am cultivating joyful effort right now and feeling it. And then the next time, maybe the next day, maybe 2 days later, and you've got to go back to the gym because you have these long-term goals, it will be easier, not harder. It will be easier to engage. It will be easier to motivate. And the work you do will be better because your heart will be in it. And it will be in it because you put it in it. So this is about agency. This is about actualization. This is about becoming empowered, not letting your nervous system always run you, but realizing that to some extent you can program it. And this is what the Tibetan dream yogis realized through experience. They didn't have scientific theories necessarily about the nervous system, but they had trial and error and a diligent work ethic, and they shared their results over centuries, and this is what they found. This works. Even if, I have to add this, I said one more thing, so this is one more thing. Even if what you're up against is just a chore, it is not playing the musical instrument you want to one day be able to really express yourself with. It's not working out at the gym to get those benefits you know will accrue over time. But it's like some chore. And you're microdosing because you want to make that chore less onerous and maybe do a better job at it. It's like something has to do with your work, and it's not something you find particularly intrinsically interesting or joy-inspiring? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You do it, let's say. You're done with it. And it's that same thing. You got 5 minutes. What are you going to do with it? If what you do with it is, oh, I'm so glad I'm done with that, I mean, that sentiment's fine. But if you stay there and you just say, I'm going to push it out of my mind, thank God that's over, and I hope it doesn't come again, but if I have to do a job like that again, I just hope it's years from now, and I'll deal with it then. Versus just a few minutes. I say 5 minutes, but really we're talking about 30 seconds. Cultivating joyful effort. Go into the body, feel it. Take a deep breath from the belly. I did it. That was boring ass work. That was like the gruntiest, chorest job I've ever done. And yet I did it. And right now I'm feeling some joy and accomplishment. I was there. I was in the present moment. I was focusing. I was using my capacities. And you cultivate that joyful effort. And the next time you're saddled with some onerous chore like that, it won't be a mountain. It will come easier to you. You will be able more naturally to find the flow and the joy in it. So again, you could look at this in a very mystical way. You can always look at the body-mind as a very mystical thing, or you could look at it as just like, I'm programming this thing. I know that learning is about a certain kind of repetition, a certain kind of learning, programming the body mind, if you like, and I am taking the reins and doing it in a way that serves me and my goals. So that's the most important teaching, maybe in all these videos, cultivating joyful effort. So now the other bookend, intention setting. So this is what you do before the experience. This is a little more clearly delineated. So maybe you just swallow the capsule, the microdose, and you're waiting for the effects to kick in, or you microdose. You can define the boundaries how you like. You microdose maybe a couple hours before, but you're going to now take up this artistic project, or you can do some writing, or you can do some exercise, and this is the thing that you, in a sense, are using the microdosing for on that given day. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It could just be living. In that case, take the microdose and do this right away. Intention setting. And I suggest that the framing of it in words, where you're going to say some words to yourself, is very general. So rather than say, I am going to complete this project with exactly these results, and say something like that, say it, frame it, may I. And you're really this appeal, this strong appeal that is really felt in the body is made to your own self. Rather than an I am going to, which can feel like a prediction of the future. And then if that prediction doesn't come about because you didn't complete the project in exactly that way, you didn't get all the right answers, then the integration period at the end where you cultivate joyful effort is going to have an element of maybe a jarring, a kind of a hypocrisy, like I said I was going to do this, but I didn't. So don't say you're going to do anything. Say something like, may I really bring my focus and attention to this task. May I be connected with myself in this day of activity. Or something, even if it feels cheesy, like a simple slogan, like, let's do this. May I really engage with this. Okay, so those kinds of intentions, and again, just like the integration, just like anything really, it's got to be embodied. So when you say something like, may I have a connected and productive day, or may I have a relaxing day where I'm able to let go of things, and you say that to yourself. You don't say it as dry words. You really feel it. You feel it in the body. I keep on miming the heart center. This is a good place. The gut can be a good place too. For some things, particularly expressive things, it can be the throat is a nice place to focus. But the heart is a very, very good general one. Right here. Right here. May I bring my focus and awareness to this day ahead. Really feel it. Okay? You can conjure the emotions that you feel will be useful for you. So if it's like confidence, you want to go into this day with confidence. May I travel through these experiences with confidence. And then as you bring the awareness to the body, taking a deep breath, and really try to feel that feeling of confidence that you are wishing for yourself for the day ahead, for the projects that you're going to engage with in the day ahead. Okay, and now this is key, and this is a very subversive message, the very anti-consumer culture message. You can fake it till you make it in this territory. So very often, if you say to someone, conjure the sense of confidence, and that person is feeling depleted and self-doubting and underconfident in that moment, the ego voice in the head is going to say, but I don't even know what it feels like to feel confident. You have full permission to use your imagination. What would it feel like to have confidence that I am going to just do my best to go into this day ahead with that sense of flow, that sense of engagement and confidence? What would that feel like? And use your imagination. And that has absolute integrity. Even if it feels like acting. Even if it feels like acting. There is something called method acting, which many, many great actors employ, where you really use acting techniques to rouse emotions, and you rouse emotions in order to serve the acting. So the reason this works is the same reason that neurologists found if you take a gentle smile on your face, it improves your mood. It affects your brain function. So the fallacy, the false belief that many people have, which is very disempowering in this society, is that I'm only going to smile when I feel good feelings, and those good feelings in turn are only going to result from good things that happen in the external world, things I achieve, things I do, things that happen to me that are the good kind of things. But that's not the way it works. It's a two-way street. And by reaching into your body, even if it's something like just creating a smile on your face, and bringing awareness to that smile and feel how it affects the muscles around the eyes and the scalp and the jaw, the awareness or the sense of confidence here. You say, well, my favorite actor, I feel no confidence. I've never felt any. I've been underconfident for years, but I can see what it looks like when people pretend to be confident. I'm serious. Go here. Fake it till you make it. All right. What would it be like if I acted confident right now? And allow that to come into your body. Maybe you decide to take your shoulders in a certain posture. Maybe your breath engages in a certain way. And you say that intention, may I have a good day. May I have as productive a day as I can. May I engage as much as I can with these activities I have ahead. And you say it with that completely acted aspect of confidence. You will be teaching, you could say tricking, but really it's teaching your neurology how to feel that, how to embody that, and how to bring that to your projects, your work. So it's very similar. Intention setting going in. May I connect, may I remain engaged, may I do the best I can and really felt in the body. Just give it a few moments. Maybe take a deep breath from the belly. May I do the best I can with this microdosing opportunity. Okay, the Tibetan dream yogi would say, may I apprehend the dream. May I become lucid in the dream. And again, that intention, okay, that method, which is built over centuries of trial and error and share and experience and tweaking and adjusting and refining, that method is going to allow the dream yogi to eventually become lucid in the dream after their body-mind has already gone through these stages of deep sleep. So these intentions stick if they're really felt. May I engage the best I can with what I have ahead for me this day. Really feel it, and don't be afraid to fake it till you make it. And then the day has passed. It had its successes, it had its failures, and no matter what, you cultivate joyful effort. It just takes a few moments. That was good. I did my best. There was that major setback along the way, but I kept going. Or the day was filled with setbacks, and yet here I am having completed the day. That was good. Congratulations, me. And really feel it. And you are teaching your neurology every subsequent time you engage, every subsequent time you do your dream yoga or your microdosing or whatever it is. This does not apply just to microdosing. your nervous system will respond, oh, this is a good experience. This is an experience that I really connect with. This is something I really want to do. As opposed to you want the end goal, which is proficiency on the musical instrument or fitness from the gym, but going through the series of long, onerous steps to get there is not so easy. So this is a very valuable method. Intention setting going in, fully physical, really owned, general and generous, not too specific. And integration at the end, which is cultivating that joyful effort, developing that sense, teaching yourself on a deep nervous system level, that was good. That experience is the experience I want to do again. And finally, connect them with each other, particularly if your microdosing is not a one-off. And usually it's not. Usually people are undertaking microdosing over at least a defined period of time in order to address some goals. They might be well-being, relaxation, more energy, more focus, or they could be like, I have a period of my creative work or my work that is very important and I'm using this to support that. So you connect the intention setting and the integration. You connect them through feeling and imagination. And it's very simple and it does not increase the time at all. We really are talking about a minute here, a minute there. You go in like, say, session number 5 and you're learning how to do this and you're learning this as well as all the other things you're learning. And you go in, you say, all right, may this be a productive day. May I be as connected as I can. And you say, may I connect with that joyful effort at the end of this arc, at the end of this experience, on the completion of this day's project, no matter how it goes, that joyful effort you now have felt several times, so allow yourself to feel it just a little bit going in. So you set the intention and you also say, I know where this is headed. This is headed to, I'm exhausted perhaps. The day is done. I did what I could. And here I am spending a few minutes just praising myself, not for any specific accomplishment, but for being there and for engaging. And I'm really feeling it. And every time you're integrating, every time you have completed the arc and you're cultivating joyful effort, you feel, next time I engage, you maybe even visualize yourself intention setting the next time. Here I am, it's tomorrow, and I'm about to start, and I'm saying to myself, all right, here I go, may I do the best I can. And you're feeling it deeply in the body. So you're connecting the integration, you're connecting these bookends through the day and through all the days. I hope that was helpful. More microdosing videos to come. Thank you.